No, I mean, we'll take the Range Rover to dinner. Unless you want me to take the cover off the Lambo, but no, if Chelsea's coming, then we gotta take the Range Rover. And then we can bring her Instagram boyfriend or whatever she's got going on right now. I don't know what she's up to. No, it's Nobu. I wouldn't be caught dead there before 10 p.m. anyways. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad 1 year ago. So, am I rich? Nope. You're not going to get rich by starting up an FBA business, and you're not going to get rich by selling an FBA course. I'm not going to get rich by making YouTube videos. It's not like I'm going to wake up one day and I'll just be a millionaire. I mean, at best, those things are like a second job. Sure, you might supplement your income a bit, but it's because you're working more. If you want to get like really filthy, dirty rich, then you're going to have to come up with a job that doesn't exist yet. But that's a topic for one of my next videos. So what have I done in an attempt to get filthy, dirty rich? Well, Memorial Day weekend 2019, I read a book that many people before me have read. That book was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And this is one of the most famous personal finance books in the world, and I've actually made a video about this book before. That was the first video on my YouTube channel. But here I am, 1 year after having read this book, and what's different in my life? Am I rich? No. Am I better for having read it? Yes. What lessons have stuck with me after being tested through a year of work and life? This is a book that deserves reflection, partly because of how darn big its influence is. This book, for better or worse, is always in the conversation regarding the most influential personal finance books, and I think that's because of what it accomplishes. It explains to the reader in easy terms exactly what it means to be rich, and goes on to demonstrate how people get rich and stay rich. Secondly, the book accomplishes the task of motivating the reader to action, to create something, to start building assets, which are the cornerstone of the book's method to becoming rich. I mean, so many people talk about this book right after they read it. They're super impassioned after reading about Kiyosaki's rise to riches, and they rave about it. And I felt the same way right after I read this book. It's part personal finance and part motivation. This book is a great spark for starting a new project or reevaluating your current path. And like I've said before, I've already made a video about this book, and if you want to know in greater detail what the book is about, then you should definitely check out my summary video at this link. But let's go through the 3 main takeaways I had in that video. Number 1 was to pay yourself first. And what Kiyosaki meant by this is that you should take a preset portion of your income and always put it into savings religiously. For example, that could be 10% of your paycheck, and when you get that money, bam, it always goes into your savings account. Anything that doesn't go into your savings isn't really yours because it's going to be spent. Now, have I followed this rule since I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad a year ago? Yes. I have for a few years actually, and I've saved this money to be the down payment on a house, and some of it has gone into stocks. And has this made me rich? Nope. I have a modest amount of savings, but that's really all it is savings. It's not any tremendous amount of wealth, and I'm not going to go out and risk all of this money on a position in a stock or purchasing a distressed asset and trying to flip it. It took me way too long to save it up to do that. But when you have a little bit of savings, if you spend that money wisely on investments, you can turn it into more money than you started out with. And the reason why Kiyosaki wants you to pay yourself first is for takeaway number 2. Takeaway number 2 is that wealth is created by building assets. And now, assets can be a lot of things, but Kiyosaki defines them as basically any possession you own that can spin off money. And he focuses mostly on investments like stocks and real estate, but he does put an interesting emphasis on intellectual property. And this is a huge reason why I'm on YouTube. I'm going to get into this in a minute, but if you have your own intellectual property, such as art or books or videos you've created, that IP can work for you while you're working on something else, like your day job. I'll be talking about this later in the video, but this IP talk, all of this is in service of the 3rd takeaway I had from the book. And takeaway number 3 is that you are your own business, whether you like it or not. This is a fact of life. We are the embodiment of our labor. And if you work hard and put in the hours, hopefully you'll be able to look around your life and point out your successes and victories. You can devote your free time to relaxing and consuming things that other people make, or you can use your free time to better yourself and make your own improvements for your life, whether it's by educating yourself, learning how to invest your money, or creating something that can pay you back in the future. So what's happened in my life in the year since I read this book? Well, this. You see, I read this book Memorial Day 2019, and I spent my free time in the summer of 2019 planning and laying out the groundwork for my YouTube channel. And you see, I've been a writer and a reader for a long time. Sometimes it's fiction, sometimes nonfiction, but I'm curious about a lot of things. And in the process of researching those things, I come across information that I think might be interesting to others. Those interesting findings lead to interesting conclusions. And guess what? If you read 2 different opinions about one topic, you can use those opinions to come to your own conclusion. And that will put you head and shoulders above the general public on that topic. And that's what I want my YouTube channel to be about, is creating and curating high-value ideas and promoting the implementation of those ideas. So I found these high-value ideas and motivation in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I implemented them by starting my own YouTube channel. But Ross, stop talking. This is a video about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, not starting a YouTube channel. Well, you see, this channel is the result of what Rich Dad, Poor Dad got me to do. It turned my daydreams into action. You see, I read a bunch, and I daydream about one day being a published author. And with my reading habit, I purchase a lot of books. Ramit Sethi says that if you even consider buying a book for a second, it's worth getting because you might read an idea in that book that will be so valuable to you that the cost of the book is nothing. So I allow myself to indulge on books, and one night I bought some obscure business book at like 1 in the morning on Amazon. And what I realized was, wow, this book was written by some guy back in the 1980s, whenever, it doesn't matter when, but he wrote it then. And he didn't have to do any work or advertising in order for me to buy it randomly in the middle of the night 30 years later. Maybe I was the only person who bought that book that month, but I still bought it. He did the legwork of researching and writing that book years ago, and it's still paying off. I want that, and I get that from my YouTube channel. For example, I released a video a few months ago about Taylor Swift's battle with private equity. And when it was released, it was middle of the road in terms of performance. But that was in March. And in June, Taylor Swift participated in some virtual graduation performances, and maybe she did some interviews or something. I don't know what she did, but all of a sudden my T-Swift video popped off harder than it had when I first uploaded it. And I didn't have to do any work for that. I mean, my initial couple weeks of work in March paid off in March, and then it paid off in June, and I'm sure they'll pay off again in the future. It all makes that initial investment of time researching, filming, and editing feel very, very worthwhile. I love the feeling of having a product that is visible for people to check out. Sometimes I'll be doing something on my phone and I get a notification that somebody commented on one of my videos or I got a new subscriber, and that makes me feel really great. The hours of work I put into researching and editing each of my videos creates a final product that I am proud to show people, and that product works on its own once I upload it. People will browse through my channel, and if they like it, then they subscribe. And if they're not fans of it, then they just go on their way. But in any case, those are people who are now aware of my brand. That brand being Ross Campoli, the leadership and business video guy. So like I said in my Molly's Game video when I quoted Jim Rohn, you get paid for the value you put into your time. And if I can only work my day job, then I will only earn my day job's pay. But if I have YouTube or some other platform working for me while I'm living my life, then those other gears are in motion. And I'm telling you, like, I'll have a crazy day at work and get a lot done, and then I check my phone and see that I got a new subscriber or my views spiked, and that feels amazing because I see the videos repeatedly paying off for me over time. And that is the business machine firing up. Like real life Ross is working on one thing and Ross's platform is working on another thing at the same time. And it keeps snowballing. If people start following me on YouTube and I build an audience, then that is that many more people who will see the videos I put out and who would hear about any future IP I make, such as a book. So what Rich Dad Poor Dad did for me was help me realize that my aspirations of being a published author are good and valid, but maybe more long-term than I anticipated. If I can put out short-form content for free on YouTube that more people are going to check out than a book from somebody they've never heard of, then I can build my audience here and publish my book when it's ready. So Rich Dad Poor Dad helped me reframe my author aspirations. I realized that I read lots of books about business, leadership, and self-development, and I am going to continue to do so regardless of whether or not I talk to an audience about them, so I may as well do what I can to create value for others now. Lots of these books talk about becoming wealthy by creating value for others, and I realized that I could create value by reading those books and summarizing the ideas and concepts for my audience. Creating videos about the topics I'm curious and researching contributes to the wealth of information on the internet and may be helpful or entertaining to a group of people, and that's my offering of value to the public. So am I rich right now? No, but I'm working on it, like everybody else. And 1 year later, that is where Rich Dad Poor Dad has left me. It teaches the foundational habits that will result in long-term wealth. And I'm not rich, but I've implemented the framework for my wealth and productivity to grow on. Since reading the book and implementing that framework, I feel so much more confident that the things I devote my time to will pay me back, and that is key to becoming valuable for other people over time. I agree with lots of the book's teachings and I recommend it very highly. It's helped me focus my energy on habits and activities that will pay me back over time. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend who you think would find it valuable as well. Seriously guys, we're a small channel now, but it's so exciting to watch it grow. We are almost gonna hit 200 subscribers, like if we can just spread this around a little bit. Please like the video and leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about the actions I've taken since reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. You can check out my Instagram for more content about my videos and the books I'm reading, and definitely stay tuned for my next video because I have some very, very exciting stuff in the works. But for right now, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.